Hey, school success makers. Welcome to another edition of the School Success Podcast. I'm your host, Mitchell Slater, and today we're going to do something new that we've actually never done before. We're going to try it out and let's just see how it goes. We kind of finished our mini series where we're going through things that you guys can do to help with enrollment, since we're obviously right in the middle of enrollment season. But then we've had some just great episodes in the past, and we've had over 100 episodes for the School Success Podcast, which is just awesome. So many great people, great interviews, and just great things that I've learned, and I know you guys have learned as well. So we're going to try something. We're going to do some episodes with just highlights of the different things we've learned from the different guests we've had on, and we're going to kind of piece a few of them together for each week, so you guys can kind of get a recap of some of the biggest takeaways, the biggest moments that we've had on the podcast. So that's what we're going to do. So a little different, but I hope you guys enjoy and get some little nuggets from the episodes that you can, again, as always, take back to your school to make it better than it is right now. So please enjoy this week's highlights and episodes from past episodes on the School Success Podcast. Enjoy.
I asked all the faculty, why are you here? And we sent out just a Google form, and it was just a simple question, just why are you here? And so we took those statements, and on our doors outside of our classroom, where we have like the room number and the teacher and everything there, they're reprinted every year. So I took those why statements that the teachers provided and put that on the door. And so every day, the kids coming into that door would see why that teacher has chosen to be a middle school science teacher or a upper school math teacher. And our colleagues would see why our other colleagues have chosen to be here. I have one on my door, and that reminded me every morning where I was slugging into work after a tough night, what my actual motivation is for coming back every day.
You know, the world that we live in now, from, you know, the inflation that we're seeing, just the financial realities of what everybody is dealing with, the way that we retain our teachers, it's important what we do financially, but it really goes beyond that, right? Because it's not just about a paycheck; it's also about the working conditions that we provide, and what are some of those additional things that we can make available to our teachers. Like, can we offer them childcare on work days? Can we offer after school care for them and make it really easy and not something that we're asking them to pay for, right? Those are things that make life a little bit easier, and just coming to work and knowing that you're valued, and that the kinds of things that we do to try to care for them in that way really matter.
Hey, school success makers, just a really quick break from the episode to highlight our amazing sponsors over at America's Christian Credit Union. They are celebrating 65 years of service this year, and they provide essential school banking services and a tuition financing program for schools looking to reduce their risk and administrative burden. And you guys can find out all about them on their website, americaschristiancu.com/schools. That's americaschristiancu.com/schools. They are amazing over there, and I always like to say, if you're a school that collects tuition and you have a hard time collecting all of tuition at the end of the year, maybe it comes around May, June, you're like, man, we only got collected 95 or 98% of what tuition was owed to our school. One of the things you can do is have your parents get a tuition financing loan through the credit union, and then they pay the credit union directly, and you get your funds up front at the beginning of the year as the school. So you don't have to chase people throughout the year, and you can focus on what you do best, and that is loving and educating your students. And it doesn't cost your school anything to do it. So check them out online, americaschristiancu.com/schools. All right, back to the show.
You know, if I want to change something and someone comes in and says, why do you want to do that? I better have a good reason to be able to defend to my faculty so that they can take it and go, okay, well, here's the reason why. Because, you know, you and I both know that just cause is not a great reason. So making sure that we have, you know, strong reasoning behind the changes that we make, if that's in dress code, if that's in curriculum, if that's in stop and start time, if that's in human resources policies, you know, wanting to kind of model that for the faculty, that I want to ask why, I want to know, but I also want them to feel comfortable enough to come in and go, hey, so about that email that you just sent out, why are we changing this to that? Did we talk about this at all? And having a good reason behind that.
As I spoke a little bit too before, our school's academic reputation in our community is strong. We don't see, if we see students that might decide to go elsewhere, it's not because they don't think the quality of education is strong. It might be because they think it's too strong in some cases. So we're working on adding additional resources to students that might struggle in one area or another. But a really strong academic reputation. We have a classical methodology that says we want to really work to develop lifelong learners and not just be about college prep, and that's kind of the finish line. But what we do find is that when our graduates leave here and end up on college campuses, overwhelmingly they find themselves far better equipped and prepared than many of their counterparts that are often going to them saying, "Help me write this paper. I'm not ready to do this."
Hey, school success makers, just a really quick break to highlight one of our amazing sponsors, and that is ClassReach. Now, ClassReach supports schools of all sizes from application to graduation. Take charge of your school with ease, power, and mobility using ClassReach, the school management software administrators and teachers love using. You can get your free demo at classreach.com. That's classreach.com. They are amazing people, and they provide this amazing SIS software for you to keep track of your students' grades, communicating with families that are enrolled, and a whole bunch more. So again, check it all out on their website, classreach.com. They are awesome. All right, now back to the show.
You cannot feel like you're the only guy who's got to solve the problems. And I'm saying that for myself because that's sort of my default mode of give me the emails, give me the problems, and let me solve it. And for a while in different positions at different schools, I was the guy, or I could be the guy to solve these kind of smaller problems and fix things and orchestrate things. But as a principal, that's not your role. Your role is to say, okay, this is the problem, or this is the issue that we're facing. How do we as a staff come around and do this? Because I could very easily sit in this office and bang out emails and send them to people and say, this is what I want you to do. But I'm not the one who's doing them. Those are going to other people. So sure, that's easy, but that's not right. What's right is getting the people in the room that need to be in the room to make those decisions. And that's time consuming. And that means having a couple meetings after work. And that means having a meeting before work. But that ultimately means the people who are going to be part of that problem are invested in finding that solution.
So education is such an important thing. And it's an incredible privilege to partner with families in the education of their children. So we don't want to miss out on that. We don't want to miss an opportunity for us to learn, to get better, and to be constantly improving, because when we get better, our school gets better. And when our school gets better and our instructional practice improves, that really impacts the students in a positive way. So I think that really represents what we've been thinking and talking a lot about.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that recap of some of the past episodes we've had on the podcast. And as always, I'm just hoping that you guys can take at least one thing away from any of these episodes that you can take back to your school to make your school better than it is right now. There's so many great things inside of these podcast episodes that we're hoping you guys can take back and use. So if you need to, go back and scan through some of the episodes. You can read through them and see some of the different people we've interviewed, the topics that we've talked about, and maybe you can grab something from there that maybe you're currently in the middle of, or you're going through, or you just wanted some extra help or guidance on. Great way to kind of scan back through and look at the podcast. But hoping you guys kind of enjoy these kind of quick recap episodes. And as always, I've mentioned it before, we have three great free resources for you guys to check out. The first one, of course, is what you're listening to right now. It is the podcast. It's free, weekly episodes coming out that we want you guys to make sure you're chiming into and listening to and soaking in. The second one, we have a great Facebook community that we want you guys to make sure you're a part of, completely free. And it's called School Success Makers. So if you're on Facebook, go join in there. I'm personally in there. Love to see you in there as well. Or you can ask questions, connect with some different school leaders that are in there from all over the world. And then the last and last one of all of that is our School Success Report, which you can sign up for on our website currently, schoolsuccessmakers.com. In the top right-hand corner, you can click the button School Success Report. It is a weekly email that will go out, just kind of going over different articles that our team has written, highlighting some teachers, giving some articles and ideas that we have come across that we want to make sure you guys are seeing as well. So make sure you're getting that every week. Some great content that the team has prepared so we can put it out there for you guys to check out. And as always, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or ideas, we want to hear from those, and we want to hear from you with those. So please contact us through our website, schoolsuccessmakers.com, and let us know those so we can better serve you guys. And we love you. We appreciate you. And we'll be back here next week with another awesome episode as usual on the School Success Podcast. We'll see you then.